Oh, hello. I'm back for more of my licensed video game shenanigans because I done goofed. I recently posted a video series in which I looked at the games based on the anime and manga, or manga and anime. The manga was first of the series called Doctor Slump. It caught my eye because of the recent, semi-recent fan translation of the PlayStation game Doctor Slump, and then from there I just ended up doing research and ultimately playing all the games for the channel and for myself. I just wanted to check out Dr. Slump and all the games that were based on it because it goes back pretty far to the early 80s. It spans from the early 80s to the recent mobile games from like 2018 or something. And I thought I'd found them all. I'd done the research, I'd had my giant document of notes, I thought I knew everything about Dr. Slump video games, but I was wrong. The research I did was primarily based in I had last year. Basically, I did a bunch of research, a year passed, and then I finally played the games and recorded the videos. But it turns out that in the interim, more games popped up, not new games, games from the 80s popped up that I just that were not on the sites that I was searching. And ultimately, because I am not a Japanese speaker or reader, I think there were just resources that I couldn't access because all my searches were really in English. And that meant that anything that, was in Japanese, I would completely miss. So, the point being, I missed a lot of stuff. And thanks to a great comment by a YouTuber called Retro Rock, not just YouTuber, actually, someone who is an archivist, a historian, who's doing the good work of making videos and archives that are shareable and have a bunch of information about primarily Japanese video games on computers of the 80s. That seems to be Retro Rock's kind of focus. And I'm going to link to Retro Rock's YouTube channel and I'll go into all the details in a bit. But thanks to Retro Rock, I've been made aware that I missed some games based on Dr. Slump. And because I have the obsesso brain, I immediately thought like, I need to correct this. I need to post another video in which I look over those games. And Retro Rock was super helpful even in providing instructions and details on how to run these games. I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm going to instead highlight some clips of gameplay where that is available from Retro Rock's own channel. And I'll link to Retro Rock. If you want full gameplay, full videos, full information, go to their channel. You'll get all the stuff. It's amazing. They're an amazing resource, and I'm thankful that they commented and emailed me to kind of catch me up on like, hey, yo, you missed some games. And that happens, right? There are so many games, and they're vintage. They're of the 80s, so I'm not surprised I missed them ultimately. All right, so yeah, let's just start poking in here at the first game we have. First thing I'm going to do is figure out which screen I need to pop up. There it is. So, right away, this bit is to talk about not just one, but 6 possible games. What you're seeing here is a Japanese website that's basically a digital museum for the Fujitsu, what is it called? It's FM7 for short. I'll link to this too. In fact, I can just hop over to there it is. Yeah, Fujitsu Micro 7. So this computer released in 1982 in Japan and Spain. There you go. And the first set of games we're looking at, this Dr. Slump Exercise series, was released on this FM7 machine. And now what I was going to say, this website, which I'll link to, is in Japanese. What you're seeing here is the Google translation. So if any words look weird or off, just know that yes, I've like everything else that was in Japanese, I've had to translate it so that I can understand what I'm reading here. So this is the kind of the compilation page that shows us there were 6 games in this Dr. Slump Exercise series. English versions 1, 2, 3, junior high English versions 1, 2, 3, and they appear to have been, it says here, education/learning games, and that's the interesting part too. Let's start hopping over here. So, yeah, FM7, you can read all about that. Discontinued in '84, so this thing didn't last very long either. Competed with other computers that I did look at because there were games for the NEC PC 8801 and Sharp X1 I did play some Dr. Slump games on those computers as well. All right, but yes, so let's start hopping through. There's not a lot of info here about these games. We're looking at the page for Exercise English version 1. It says First English Edition. I am a student who has completed the course of study. I think that's a translation from something on the box. It was made by CSK Software Products and I believe Toei Animation is who we have for this. Yeah, Toei Animation, CSK. They're the ones. They are the institutions that came together to figure this out. Developed by Mathematics Research School. So and the publisher, I guess, was this company Philcom. So all these entities came together to looks like to make educational software. But there's no images. That's kind of the tough part here. It's hard to gauge the gameplay, if any. If we hop over here to English version 2, we can see a box shot at least. So you can see it's Arale, and it looks like this version 2 contains parts 3 and 4 of the series. So it just feels like it's a bunch of lessons teaching English, and it's not clear if it has any video game elements or if it's just like a straightforward, what I would describe as an app, like an English learning app. And it's hard to say. But that was among Retro Rock's list of games that I missed. So, they thankfully linked me to this. So, yeah, there you go. Here's the page on this site for English version 3. The reading romanization is the following 3. So that's not very descriptive of what's possibly in there. Neither details, nothing there. And then we have junior high English version. So I can only assume there's like elementary English and then junior high English for more advanced students. I am a student who has completed the course of study. I think that would be probably Arale's quote on the box. Version 2, what does it say? The second bullet train. What does that mean? That's even less clear than the other ones. All right. And then finally, we get to Junior High English version 3, or the page for it on the site. The first 3 days of the exam. So yes, so just some commercial, maybe video games released using the Dr. Slump license. So that's Dr. Slump Exercise series that I wasn't completely unaware of, and now at the very least I'll have some pages I can link to for anyone who wants to investigate that more. But now we move on. We move on from that to definite video games, right? And we begin with oh, that's not where I meant to go. Let's just back up a little bit. Bloop, bloop. Or maybe I did mean to go there. My bad. Did you hear that airplane? You probably did. We'll look at that game later. So the first game we're going to look at is Arale-Chan No Maze Land. This is a 1983 release, as you can see here. Released for the Sharp, at least this version is the Sharp MZ700, made by Enix and Takashi Shimizu. And what you're going to see here is a short clip from Retro Rock's channel. So you're not going to see the whole thing here. Again, this video is really to promote Retro Rock because I think they're great, and I'm really happy how forthcoming they were with information. It's really rad. So let's just poke around. Let's go through the boot sequence for the Sharp MZ700, which I'd never heard of. I guess it's different from the Sharp X1. That's the computer I was familiar with. There you go. So yeah, Takashi Shimizu. And this is wild. All right. Well, after we get past the boot sequence. So let's use the arrow keys, it looks like. Do, 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 do. It's the whole thing. It's long. That's the intro music from the 80s anime, which is fantastic. Yeah, let's go ahead and skip past. So here we go. Actually, hold on. Do we get... There it is. So it's a maze game. You have to navigate a maze. And it looks like you have to find King Miko-chan? So the blue face is Arale. So you can see here the maze part. Moves very quickly. So you have to make your way... Oh, interesting. You have to find Arale. And if you... Wait, is this an endless runner? It looks like an endless... Like, it looks like it's just barreling ahead. And you're meant to, like, turn at the right moment. Hey, it's time Slippu. Yeah, you have to find Arale and then retreat through the maze. Wow, that seems very difficult to do. And immediately, it's like, alright, you played the intro maze, now here's a massive maze. Wow, Retro Rock, I think, do they have a full... I don't know if it's a full playthrough, but they play for an hour. Let's look up one... Let's skip ahead to one. Why don't we skip ahead to this one? Wow. I'd say this is pretty impressive. I mean, the 3D effect, right? It's 1983. I think if you were playing this kind of game on a computer in 83, this would be super impressive. Like, visuals-wise, anyway. Look at that. Wow, why are there 4 faces in this? Wow, you need to find everyone and then return all the way back. That's wild. That is wild. Wow. So, there you go, anyway. That's Arale-Chan Mazeland, 1983. Wow, that seems like it would be a real challenge. Oh, and there's different characters. That's cool. So, Arale, yeah, there's Akane. It's dope. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Alright, so that was 83, Arale-Chan no Mazeland. Now, we advance on to 1984 to look at Arale No Jump Up. Let's see if that's next. Yes, it is. So this is on the NEC N80. But according to the description, it's the NEC PC 8001 Mark II. So this one's more familiar. This one should be, I think in post-Donkey Kong world, should be very familiar, right? You have different levels. It's a platformer as we know it, kind of from a modern perspective of 2D side-scrolling. Actually, no side-scrolling. It's a single-screen platformer. And these are all really good depictions of Nico-chan. Wait, is Nico-chan green? I forget what color Nico-chan is. No, green. He's green. Yes, he's green. Okay, so yeah, there's that. And it looks like this is the kind of like the tracked sequence. Let's see if we can get to the character controlling Arale, or the player controlling Arale. Hey, look, it's Toriyama. His bird persona. Alright, so this is all a tracked sequence. Let's keep going here. Here we go. So now we have Arale being controlled by the player. We have Donbei, I think is the name of the Trickster Fox character. That's what that is. And, oh, that's a different enemy too. So, it's different mazes, different maze level. Actually, no, these are not mazes. Different platformer levels, different enemies per level. Like, that's that kaiju character they introduced later, who can fire like a beam out of the back of his head. He's got like a mouth thing going in the back. It's pretty freaky. But yeah, it looks like you can bop them out using the pistons. I know Retro Rock did provide like detailed instructions, maybe from the manual, about how the game is played. So I understand that Senbei built this place with these pistons, and now Arale has to go through and clear out the enemies. Oh, you bop them. So you have to hit them with the piston, and then walk up to them to like kick them or something. And this is scene 3, or level 3, as we might know it in English. Let's forward a bit more just to see what else there might be. Who is this character? I have no idea who that is. That's not Gachan, is it? I mean, that face looks terrifying. If it's meant to be Gachan, that is a really freaky looking Gachan. I like the colors too. The green, like all the neon colors, I guess. I like all that. Here goes that kaiju character again. Yeah, so there you go. You get the idea here. Again, I'm not gonna show full playthroughs. You go to Retro Rock's channel to watch these things in full. I think they're great. All right, so that's Arale No Jump Up, 1984. Oh, I didn't mention who developed it. Well, you can see it in the description. It's a combo of NX, Geimu Kyojin, and Norio Komaki. And Akira Toriyama, of course, because this is like Mac rating, right? Toriyama's name is going to be on everything because he made the version of this thing. So he's always there. All right, so that's 3 games out of 4. Now we move on to the 4th game, Penguin Village. In fact, yeah, let me go ahead and back it up here to that one page you weren't supposed to see yet. So on the same FM7 Museum site, they do have a page for Penguin Village. We can see a few details. We can see that it won a grand prize at the 2nd Pony-Ka Original Program Contest, an adventure game based on the world of the manga Dr. Slump. And yeah, I think it's a text adventure. Like, you're meant to go through and type in this answers. Here's the box shot it looks like. Yep, for the FM7. Here's the title screen. We'll get more details about this too in a moment. And here's a screenshot of a pink bulldog punching, looking mighty surly there. All right, so there's that page. Now let's go back over to that video. Fire this up. So that was the FM7 version on that other page. This video is for the Sharp MZ2000, made by Pony Canyon and Yoichi Kitagawa. I've been playing some other older games for another series that's coming up, and these boot sequences, I don't really have nostalgia for them, but I can see how, if you were growing up with computers like this at the time, seeing these, like, you know, boot sequences, all right, that sound has to be an emulator. I've seen emulators do this for these old computers. They incorporate the physical sounds of the machine that the machine would have at that point. It's pretty neat. Why Kitagawa? I wonder where he got the full name Yoichi Kitagawa, because I have noticed that the credits sometimes just give first initial last name. So I wonder how he's getting the complete name. Actually, in RetroRock's instructions for this game, he did include like the complete walkthrough, basically translating basically, like translating, like, look, when the character says this, you're supposed to perform this action, and then that's how you can progress through this game. Pony-Ka, short for Pony Canyon. Man, this all looks super simple to us now, but I'm sure it must have been a huge challenge to, like, program all these different effects. This is that Ultraman? That is Ultraman. Ultraman being, like, Arale's favorite character, I think. She's big into Ultraman and kaiju stuff. Yes, you see, you're kind of, I guess the player is advancing through the world. I think it's a short playthrough. Yeah, it's a really short playthrough. So I won't show the whole thing. I'll just show a bit more. But you're moving through the environment. Everything's getting drawn in as you go. I think you're probably, like, moving left, right, straight, etc. to progress through. I want to meet one more character before we pause. There we go. So now you've met Donbei. There you go. So there's some text. You're meant to perform an action at that point, and then you continue. And that's all I'm going to show. So there you go. That's Penguin Village from 1984. The 4th and final game of the games that I straight up missed in my initial look at the games. And yeah, they all look neat. They all look very much like, 80s video games that are all pretty, again, from our modern perspective, pretty simple. But at the time, especially that maze game, like, I'm still really impressed with, oh, whoa, hold on, let's back up a little bit first. I'm really amazed with this game. The maze, again, I know this concept of like a 3D maze, and you're just scaling graphics accordingly to give the impression of moving through the environment, but I don't know. I think that's really clever, especially for 1983. I still think if you're a player in 1983 and you're seeing this, you're just like, whoa, 3D graphics are flying by. That's amazing, even if it is all neon colored, wild graphics. All right, well, that's it. That's my brief look at the games. go to RetroRock's channel. They have full playthroughs of all this stuff. I think it's incredible that they have so much. RetroRock also linked me to their web archive channel where they preserved all this stuff. You can download this stuff and play it. Again, or you can simply go to their channels, RetroRock. Oh, it looks like someone else contributed too, Bob Saito. So yeah, I'll link to all these channels, all these things in the description, so you can go check them out for yourselves. But just know that if you want to download these things, not just Dr. Slump games, but like a ton of other games, and you want to like check them out as part of enjoying them or seeing what kind of preservation work they're doing, they're all there. And this is one final glance at RetroRock's channel, an amazing channel full of, I will say, I guess I'm not envious, but this channel is so much more comprehensive than I am. Because first of all, I do commentary videos, which means I'm talking over everything. These videos are just straight gameplay, so it's more, I don't know, historically pure, I guess, because there's no one talking over these things. It's just like, here's the thing. And not just that, too. I think if we go back a little bit and look at the descriptions, you'll see a ton of information. So this isn't just videos. This is like, here's the video if you just want to watch it. If you want to actually play this, here's the full instructions and details about this game. What else can we look at in that regard? Let's look at all the descriptions. Why not? Here we go. Complete, complete sort of breakdown of all the details in the game. Same for Maze Land, or Arale-Chan Maze Land. Kind of overview there, but yeah, that's amazing. This is all great stuff. RetroRock, thank you again for sharing and for updating me so that I can do my best here to correct my oversight. But which again just reinforces what I was talking about in the other videos. Dr. Slump was huge. It was a huge success, and just the many 80s games or games from the 80s that were about Dr. Slump just shows like, yeah, people loved Dr. Slump, and companies, as always, are very, they spotted that. They're like, oh, let's get in on that Dr. Slump business. And so we get all these different games. Yeah, well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching and for letting me catch you up on my mistake. That's it for, well, I mean, at this point, who knows? There might be more Dr. Slump games that pop up. But if there are more, I'll talk about them, I guess, later on. But for now, this is it. Thanks for watching. And until next time, I'll see you.